Hi, I clicked onto today's tropical tidbit for Wednesday over here in the Atlantic. Very interesting situation going on over here in the Southwest Atlantic Basin. You start to wonder, is this a monsoon trough or a cold front? And the answer is it's a monsoon trough, not really a front. The front ends down here, but you can see a very heavily modified continental polar air mass coming down from the north over the Gulf of Mexico. And when you see northerly winds like this coming into the monsoon trough, that's really quite an intriguing situation, to be quite honest, and really interesting stuff going on over here. But at any rate, in here we have Tropical Storm Nicole, which is the big news item today, and this is going to be coming up east of Florida and into North Carolina during the next 24 to 36 hours, and this is going to be mostly known as a rain event. There's not too much wind associated with this. Notice how the appearance of this is very elongated, and we're going to see the low pressure get strung out as it comes to the north over here. You notice the convection is consolidated closer to the center over here, but winds and pressures have not gone up too much, or pressures lowering and winds gone up have not significantly gotten stronger since yesterday. To analyze the low pressure over here, we've got to ask ourselves, where's the focus of the baroclinic forcing and the tropical forcing? Because we have a front coming down here interacting with this. So it's not all purely tropical processes going on over here. So we've got to ask ourselves, first of all, where's the center of the tropical forcing? The answer is right here. Okay, where the center of the upper ridges, and where if this was a purely tropical situation, the center would be tucked right in here near the Cayman Islands somewhere, and you'd be wrapping in the bands, and we'd be winding up a hurricane in here. Where's the center of the baroclinic forcing, however? And you'd have to say that it's up here off the southeast United States coastline, where the trough is creating the best upper divergence aloft, and you've got cold air coming behind hitting warm air from the southeast, and you've got your frontal boundary. So we're trying to lower pressures in here at the same time as we're trying to lower them in here. Where's the actual center of the storm? It's right here, trying to come off the northern coast of Cuba right here. So it's between this and it's between this. So it's starting to leave the area of tropical forcing and is starting to lean towards the area of baroclinic forcing. And this is why you're going to see over the next 24 hours the center of low pressure is going to jump very quickly to the north over here into the area of baroclinic forcing and make it to North Carolina rather rapidly. In fact, the GFS shows this, where it hangs the tropical low back here and then shoots this, forms a new low up here rather fast. So as soon as this leaves Cuba, you're going to see this shoot up to the north rather quickly, and this is when the hurricane center is likely going to take away its name. They have a forecast point out here as still a tropical storm, then after that they take away the name. And technically, yes, that makes perfect sense, because like I'm saying, you leave the tropical thing down here and you shoot it up into the baroclinic zone, therefore it's a baroclinic low. But come on guys, you're going to have tropical storm force winds and lots of heavy rain over here, totally tropical weather coming into the Carolinas from this. You really should keep the name to make sure that people are aware of what is hitting them. It's not just your normal September frontal wave. It really isn't. This is a pretty nasty situation. Florida's getting rain out of this. The center's coming up east of Florida through the extreme northwestern Bahamas, and will be coming up into the Carolinas and on up the eastern seaboard during the next couple of days. And the big story on this is going to be the rainfall coming into North Carolina into this. I mean, look at all the funneling moisture coming out of the tropics over here, and already in Carolina, North Carolina rather, the last 24 hours have already seen in excess of 3 inches of rain in some areas over here in a band from Wilmington northeastward, and this is on top of the 8 to 10 inches some places already received in previous the funneling front that was coming up here even preceding Nicole. They've already had several inches of rain, and in some places double-digit inches of rain before this ever came on shore. So we're getting in excess of a foot of rain in some places for the last week here in North Carolina, and this is going to be a major flooding situation for this area. Big deal over here, and this is going to be what Nicole is remembered for, is probably the flooding in this area. And we're going to continue watching over the next week or so to see these things in the central Atlantic coming across and trying to get involved in this pattern where activity continues to fire in the Caribbean. And what will happen is when Nicole leaves, it'll probably leave something behind over here, and we'll see some weak low pressure. The remnants of Matthew are sitting over here, going to be coming and swinging across the Eastern Pacific and coming back in. So we're going to be trying to get low pressure to go once again in the Western Caribbean. We're going to see this come across, we're going to see this come across, and we'll probably be trying to get low pressure going in the Caribbean as we head on into the first and second weeks of October. And the season, you know, guys, the season is going to start winding down because we're shutting down the Cape Verde season now. The activity is confined in here. We're starting to get troughs to come down and all this stuff, but we are going to continue to see some storms. We can't expect to have a named storm every day now. We had almost no break where there wasn't a named storm on the map for the last couple of months, but we're going to start winding that down a little bit. But now we're on, let's see, Nicole is our 14th storm. I still have a final total of 18. That means 4 more storms, and I think we will get those during the course of October and November. Remember, the Caribbean hurricane season really does not end until November 30th. It really does keep going, and especially in a La Nina year, we're going to continue watching this area of the world for activity. By the time we get around to November, remember last year, storms like Ida, when they come up, they do weaken when they come into the coast, but they may take away the name. But that doesn't mean that they're not still producing dangerous weather. Ida was a big deal. Ida was really a big deal. Even though she lost her name in the Gulf of Mexico, she was a big deal. So you can't write these things off. Even in November, the tropics can still threaten. So keep your eyes open. October could still see a major hurricane develop in here. Even in November, you can get majors in the Caribbean. So the Caribbean islands got to be aware during the end of the season. And the southeastern U.S. during October, while the waters are still warm, have got to be on the lookout. And even in November, tropical systems can be a problem. So we will continue watching. We shall see what happens. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching.